David here from Aussie Blokes Talk, and today I'd like to bring you the story of Allan McGregor, and it's a really interesting story. I've known Allan now for some time, and here's a guy who's learned to talk his story. When he first started, it was really difficult for him. Now he's not afraid to talk about his story anywhere, anytime. And the more that Allan tells his story, the more people understand that a disability does not have to hamper a person's ability to speak. A man's ability to speak does not have to be hampered by any disability he may have. So I'd like to introduce you today to Allan McGregor. And Allan McGregor is here on behalf of Think and Grow Rich Music, which is exactly on the shirt that he wears. So Allan, tell me about Think and Grow Rich Music. What's it about for you?
It's about letting people understand that they can thrive if they get some knowledge and put things together. Basically, I was diagnosed at 49 years old with dyslexia, but most of my life I thought I was dumb. And so what I did is I found Think and Grow Rich when I was 42 years old. It was the first book I'd read in my life. And there was a chapter on imagination, and basically at school I was told that I was just a dreamer, so I used to stop myself from dreaming. And when I found that chapter on imagination, I thought, wow, this and the other information in the book, I thought, wow, this is just so special that I've got to get it out for other people to listen to it, to fight, to learn about it. And that's when I decided to put the book to music, and that's how Think and Grow Rich Music has come about.
It follows the chapters of the book, doesn't it?
The book.
In the book sold, what, 130 million copies or something?
The book Think and Grow Rich has sold over 120 million copies, so it's been a very popular book, and it is a philosophy book.
And I certainly read it through my journey a couple of times, and I've also know that pretty well every entrepreneur in the world has read that book as part of their foundation, basically, because it's recommended everywhere. And what you've done is really unique. You've collaborated with your brother-in-law, who's a musician.
Correct, Martin Way, yes.
Martin Way.
He studied the book like a scientist before he actually wrote the lyrics, and so he's put a lot of time and effort into it to get the result that we've got.
And they're very powerful lyrics.
Thank you.
And they're very powerful lyrics. And look, I can just tell you that the first chapter is, or the first song is about desire, having a desire, having a willingness to ask for what you want, basically. And everything else follows from there. So just tell me about some of the other chapters, the other songs, Allan.
Well, even the chapter on the power of the mastermind, like with us here today, we're creating another mind, and that's where the music, and the book, but the music comes into its own power, and the chapter on decision, and even the sixth sense, believing that there is a power out there that will help us get to our destiny and find what we really want in life.
Because what I've found, and I'm sure that you found as well, that when a man sets his mind to it, when he says, I have a goal and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there, and he harnesses something like the information and the power of the work of Think and Grow Rich Music, that will just help him get there faster. That will speed the way, because it's a front of mind thing, isn't it?
Yes, I think the book delves into infinite intelligence, and I believe that the music wouldn't have been created without the dream and without the faith.
Yeah, and faith, of course, is the second chapter of the book and the second song on the audio. And faith is about being willing to believe that something can come true, even if everybody else around us says you're just dreaming. So tell me about that one.
Well, it goes back to my school days when I was called just a dreamer, and now I'm putting something out to the world that I believe is going to help a lot of people, give hope and opportunity.
And there was a time in your life where you didn't have that hope and opportunity, and that was something that the book helped you get out of, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Just like I say, finding that chapter on imagination and just believing that things, you could believe in yourself and make things happen, and just study and keep going back, listening to the music, and just making your way forward.
Yeah, and the other thing was from your journey, and I mean, you didn't have any trouble really creating things. You created a business in New Zealand. You started with 1 truck. You went to 6. You had a $1 million sort of, house and lake. And tell me the story about the boat.
Oh, what I did is there was a boat that got damaged in a fishing competition, and basically they I put it up for tender, and I tendered for it because it was no good to go back to sea. So I actually put it on a private lake, and I was setting it up as an exclusive retreat. So that certainly opened a few eyes.
So, and there was the other story too you were telling me before of somebody that came to you, or you heard their story about the music that, because this is how it all came about. It was a sequence of events which led to the creation of these songs. And one of the stories was about, I think it was Tony, wasn't it?
Tony Christensen, yes. He was an international speaker, speaking around the world, and he had music that was already written for him, and twice he went to present, and just before he went to present, somebody else used exactly the same music, and it was so embarrassing for him.
Yeah, that'd be really embarrassing.
Yeah, so what I did is I said, hey, Martin can actually write songs for you, songs like Inside Out, It's All Inside, Never Give Up, Reach for the Stars, and that it worked absolutely perfect for him, and he uses it around the world today.
So they're his songs.
They are his songs.
But it came out of your imagination.
Absolutely, my imagination, yes, and that's what led to building of Think and Grow Rich.
And that's setting up an affiliate link on our website. So, and people will be able to download it direct from AussieBlokesTalk.com.au. AussieBlokesTalk.com.au. We really love what you've done with the songs, and our desire is to get those songs out to as many people as possible, so that not just the people that we know, but everywhere as far as possible, men can download, women too can download and listen to and be inspired by the songs that you and Martin have created. Know the power of Think and Grow Rich music? Download the audio from our website, AussieBlokesTalk.com.au. You'll see there's a link there to Allan's site where you can see his story and download the audio. I believe this is a way of presenting songs and music that can change your life. So I highly recommend that you download these songs and this music and make it a part of your life. I'd like to thank Allan for being here today, for being part of Aussie Blokes Talk, and I look forward to welcoming him back again later on when we can talk more about the changes that men have had through listening to the songs of Think and Grow Rich music